One of the best e-commerce niches right now that is absolutely blowing up is actually right under our noses, and most people just cannot see it. It's the content creation niche. Now, there's a very common saying out there that in a gold rush, the people that make a lot of money or some of the most money are the ones that sell the shovels, actually. And this niche in particular is a perfect example of that. I'm going to go through a store that's producing an estimated $9 million per month. It's a Shopify store. Now, they do sell on other places outside of Shopify as well, like Amazon, but Shopify is their main hub, as most e-commerce brands do. They have Shopify as their main hub. But this is going to be a really cool rabbit hole that I went down on, and I'm going to introduce all of this to you, their marketing strategy, their corporate strategy, even for those of you that are a little bit more advanced, and sort of the overall niche. Now, the store is called Elgato. Now, what they do is they sell content creation tools and accessories. So for people that basically are content creators, so they sell mics, mic stands, they sell Stream Deck studios and tools for people that love streaming, and they've sort of become the go-to brand for these types of items. So they sell lights, they sell webcams, they sell literally every kind of accessory that a content creator would use to produce content on their computer. And that's actually a massive niche that is invisible to a lot of people because we watch content all the time, but only really content creators are thinking about this sort of stuff, right? However, everyone is making content these days, and more creators are popping up. So look at the content creation trend. If we take a look at the Google trend, it's absolutely blowing up. And what's crazy is that it's actually a worldwide trend if we take a look at it, right? So even in countries like Nigeria, there's a huge interest in the content creation trend, which is pretty surprising, right? I mean, who would have thought that? But it's the case. Now, I looked through a lot of different sources, and they're estimated to be doing anywhere from 10 to 50 million. But in my opinion, these are probably outdated sources because Elgato, if you don't know, is literally the leading brand in the streaming and content creation category. So as that category continues to blow up, I mean, we've seen billion-dollar creators, right? Logan Paul and KSI, they built Prime, which is a billion-dollar business. Mr. Beast, of course, has Feastables. That's probably on its way to being a billion-dollar business. So I would estimate, since most creators are promoting this, these guys are doing probably 100 million or at least close to it. We can see their traffic distribution is $1.9 million a month, and they are on Amazon and blowing up on Amazon as well. Now, I want to share with you, the first thing is sort of their landing pages, right? So let's go look at their new products because that's, I guess, the first thing that we can get inspired by, right? So their new product is the Neo products. So let's just look at one of these, the face cam, right? Because I'm recording this on a webcam, so this is relevant. So as you see, this is a really cool landing page. It's really clean. You can buy the full set, or you can just buy an individual one, or just different kinds of bundles. This is pretty interesting that they actually have this above the fold, right? So their add to cart button is like right here. But they have the bundles right above the add to cart, which most people do it backwards, actually. Most people add that under their add to cart. As you can see, you can shop directly from Target, which is pretty interesting. This is actually part of some of the theories that I had in the last year or so at my agency at ChemiLab. We've been heavily involved with a lot of Amazon and TikTok shop brands that are trying to expand their direct-to-consumer side. And I said this a long time ago that I knew Shopify would be the hub that a lot of brands operate from when it comes to direct-to-consumer, but they will utilize all of the available marketplaces, and there's no reason not to. So Amazon, now we're seeing Target becoming a viable marketplace, which is really interesting. I'm from Minnesota, which is where the Target headquarters are. So pretty cool. Now, as you see, their landing page is nothing that crazy. It follows a very simple structure that I really like, which is very few texts. So they have headlines, but it's not a lot of headlines. It's actually pretty easy to read. This is something even drop shippers can learn from. So looking pro has never been this easy. Boom. Be more memorable. Set up in seconds. Fits every space. Like, these are such great copywriting headlines, and they're so easy to read and get through. So this is a really good structure to learn from. And that's why I love doing this, right? That's why I love breaking these down, because not only does it help reinforce my knowledge when I work with 8 and 9 figure e-commerce brands and some of the private equity that I own in brands like that as well. But also it helps you guys that are just getting started, that, you know, you just don't really have the knowledge yet to be able to create a very credible looking website, which, not gonna lie, a lot of people fail at that. They create sites that just don't look good at all. They're not trustworthy. So they waste a lot of money, right? Because if you're gonna be driving ads to your store, you wanna make sure that your store looks trustworthy. And these things are really simple ways to do that. Just following the structure of brands that are spending millions upon millions of dollars optimizing their website. So this is also a really good thing that they have right here is what's in the box. I really like when brands do that, especially if there's multiple things that are in the box. It really does help add more value to the offer. One thing I'm noticing here that's kind of interesting is that they actually don't have like a review tab that's easily available. I mean, it is, you can just click it here, right? But it's not in the landing page. Like, you actually have to click into it, which I kind of like, actually. It's actually a pretty clean setup. I don't know what app this is. It looks like Okendo. I think it's Okendo Reviews, but I'm not exactly sure. Now, that's the website. It's pretty clean. I do want to look just quickly, you know, at some of their best products, which I think it's capture cards. I believe capture cards are actually their biggest product category, funny enough. But maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see. Wave stand, Stream Deck, 2 become 1, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff here, kind of too much stuff for us to browse. Whatever. Let's see if we can actually get into it. Maybe not. Okay, so their website is a little bit hard to navigate, I'm not going to lie, because I want to just look at all the products, but it doesn't let me. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe, oh, this is the one, the Cam Link. I know their Cam Link is super popular. So yeah, this is one of their most popular products out there. Maybe not, maybe not the most popular. As you see, 114 reviews. That's not that crazy. 20 bad reviews. Not trying to hate on Elgato because I know they're totally crushing it. But I show that and highlight that because it just goes to show that even some of these big 9-figure brands, they mess up. Sometimes their experience is not the best, and they're continuously learning from their mistakes too, just like a beginner e-commerce business. Next, I want to look at their Facebook ads because this is one of the main services that we offer at Academy Lab is Facebook ads for brands. Whether it be software brands, e-commerce brands, we have clients all over the place, but primarily e-commerce brands since that's mainly the businesses that I like to own. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? They're actually not running a lot of ads at all. They only have 10 active ads, which is a huge missed opportunity. And it's really cool, in my opinion, when I see even brands like Elgato, right, where I can easily identify points of leverage that they can pull to increase their revenue, increase their awareness, increase their market share, right? This is such an easy way to do it. These ads are not good. I mean, these ads are like nothing really. And they have so many cool products, so many cool, as you see, like if we scroll down, they even have, I really like this section. Actually, it was in their homepage. Let me just go to it quick. Bear with me for a second. This at the bottom, right? This looks so cool. Like they should run a lot of these as ads and they're not, which is a really big missed opportunity. Maybe in their mind, they don't need to, right? They're taking this sort of Tesla approach where they don't need to run ads, so they don't. But I believe that's valid, right? But I still think, you know, some of the biggest companies in the world, like Apple is a really good company to model, in my opinion, because they're extremely profitable too. They allocate a pretty significant budget to advertising, and I think that's proper, right? Like maybe don't make it, you know, 50% of your overall business's budget if you don't need it, but maybe something like 10 to 20% could really be beneficial. And this is not what they're doing at all, which is pretty interesting. Now, they do run ads in different locations. This is a German company, by the way, so that's also something noteworthy. And they do pop off on social media like crazy. They have 500,000 followers. They do pretty well when it comes to producing content. Again, this is why it's such a missed opportunity to not be running ads. And I would love to get in contact with Elgato and run their ads. My team would be so happy to do that, and I would be as well. This would be such a cool thing to collaborate on. But they do have a YouTube channel as well, which is really smart. I love brands that have YouTube channels. I have a YouTube channel. YouTube is such a powerful tool, and really it's probably the reason why this trend exists is because of YouTube and TikTok and all these platforms. They're also on X or Twitter, And actually, this is one of their biggest platforms, which is a really, really interesting thing to see. What I love about this, and this is a really easy hack for those of you brand owners out there, is that there's a huge audience of creators that are posting about products on X, and it's only growing. And all you have to do as a brand is repost them. You just have to repost what they're doing, retweet them, right? Super easy way to grow your reach that a lot of people are not taking advantage of. I do that myself. With a Chemi Lab, for example. That's just the easiest brand that I can talk about because it serves a lot of you people, a lot of the people that watch my content. But I have a page on X, a Chemi Lab, and I just repost some of my own tweets, right? Which sounds a little sad, right? But at the same time, it increases the reach of the tweets, which is pretty cool. And it also increases the following of the page, which is kind of a little hack that I've never really talked about. But it's a simple thing that anybody can do. Now, I want to get to the corporate structure here because, believe it or not, this can help you as a beginner. Maybe not. I don't know if it can help you as a beginner, but on my channel, I talk about all the things that interest me. And, I work with a lot of corporate brands too. And I've gotten involved in some cap tables that are a little bit more elaborate than just your normal, I guess, e-commerce branded dropshipping store. Though I do love branded dropshipping stores, don't get me wrong. But this is what's really cool. This brand was actually acquired by Corsair, and Corsair is a gaming company that I believe, let's see, Corsair revenue. It's actually a publicly traded company. And as you see, they do over $1 billion a year, I'm pretty sure. They're actually down, significantly year over year. They're losing $24 million a month or a quarter right now, which is terrible. My goodness. They need me to run the Elgato ads. Just kidding. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. They do $1.4 billion. That's what they did in 2023. But they're literally burning cash. They lost over $100 million probably last year doing this revenue. It kind of makes sense actually when I look at it because let me see if I can find like just a clean chart to look at. I don't know where I can go here. Let's just look at overview. Okay, here. So if we go to max, yeah, this is what I figured. I was literally just about to mention this. They probably popped off like crazy during COVID, right? Because everybody was inside watching content and brands just got crazy valuations during this time. And as you see, they were almost like 4, 5, 6x what they're at now, even 7x where they were at now. So at one point, they were worth almost $4 billion. Right now, they're only worth $670 million, which is still a lot. But this is what's crazy about owning a business like that aggregates other companies or buys out companies, is that Elgato is such a strong business. I don't really know their financials because it's a private company, but we can see how it's growing, right? We can see this niche right here. We can see Elgato being a dominant player in this category, and Corsair owns it, right? So even if Corsair is just totally bleeding money on their overall business, they have these assets that they've owned or they've earned, or I guess acquired, not earned. I guess that's considered earned, that are popping off completely. So this is a really cool structure that I like. It's a way that I'm building my business. I have private equity in a bunch of different things, and it kind of reduces my risk, but also, I don't know, it's just fun for me to look at this kind of stuff. It's complicated, but it's really not that complicated. Corsair is such a cool company. They really dominate a lot of the gaming market when it comes to, I actually have a Corsair mouse, funny enough. So yeah, they sell a lot of different gaming accessories. I really like looking at some of these other assets or other stocks like Roblox. I have a video coming up on this because Shopify did a partnership with Roblox. You'll be able to list your Shopify store literally on the Roblox universe, which is kind of trippy to think about. And Roblox is worth $30 billion, believe it or not. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, ultimately, Elgato is a great, great company. Corsair Gaming owns it, and they bought it at a great time. Their products are really great. If you want to start a store in this niche, I would definitely take a look at what Elgato is doing deeply and capitalize on what they're not capitalizing on, which is basically Facebook ads. It's pretty crazy to me that they're not running Meta ads, because Meta is still the most powerful platform in the world for showcasing your brand to potential consumers. And they are taking advantage of Instagram Reels and things of that nature. So it's kind of a perfect hand-in-hand relationship with Facebook ads that they could build. So that's what I would do. I would start a niche, a brand in this niche, run Facebook ads to it, and also try to hire a lot of stream creators, smaller ones that don't necessarily have incomes with Twitch, for example, or YouTube, but they are getting some momentum, and get them to sponsor your products. I would do that, of course, but I don't have the time necessarily to do all of that, but I do have the time to run the Facebook ads and think of the strategy behind something like that. So if you already have a brand in this category, feel free to reach out to me, and maybe we can work something out, some sort of partnership, or we can do something, or maybe you can just join the accelerator and I can help you through that. The accelerator is pretty cool. But ultimately, I really wanted to showcase this brand because I've known about it for a long time, and I've seen them grow year over year over year and completely dominate this category. So now they're also, one last thing, I know that I'm going off on so many tangents, but I've been traveling for the past 10 days, which is crazy. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some pictures of my little family. We went on a cruise. It was pretty wild, but I was disconnected completely from my phone for so long. But they're also diving into digital downloads. So of course they have digital downloads for, their own products, right? So their products use software in order to work. But they do have a marketplace, which I don't really know what it's about. So you can personalize your devices, the software experience that you use your devices for. This is super cool. I mean, this business is so strong. It's so dope. They have OBS setups. I use OBS to record. So yeah, Elgato is such a dope business, super cool. And Corsair just completely finessed by acquiring this business when they did. That's kind of the last thing I want to see. When they acquired it, 2021. Wow. I don't think we know how much they acquired it for. Yeah, it's not public information, but whatever they acquired it for, it was worth it because Elgato is completely blowing up. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Peace.